let's get into some football. And we are officially 9 days away. Well, actually, not actually 6 days away from the start of the actual season. 9 days away from our first Red Zone Sunday. And of course, we're in the midst of college football week one. We're going to get into that in just a little bit. But we have been doing the Inside the NFL Division series all summer, and we are finally down to the final division, and that is the AFC West. AFC West is home to the two-time defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. They're trying to go for the first three-peat in NFL history. They've got the guy Patrick Mahomes back, Travis Kelce's back. They've got some new wide receivers. Defense is still there, and Andy Reid back for another year as they try to do something spectacular. They will open up the season at home as they get the rings, going up against the reigning MVP and the team that they beat in the AFC Championship game last year, Lamar Jackson, Roquan Smith, and the Baltimore Ravens. Man, I think to me is when we talk about storylines for the season, it's as simple as this. This is the biggest storyline of the year. Can they three-peat? I think that, the last team had a chance to do this with the 2005 Patriots. They made it to the AFC divisional round where they lost to the Denver Broncos. This, to me, is the best equipped team on paper to three-peat, in my opinion, since the 90s Cowboys. Well, we know that NFC Championship game in 1994. Was it pass interference on Deion Sanders? Was it not pass interference? What was it that eventually helped the San Francisco 49ers win, and they eventually went to beat the who they beat in the Super Bowl? Was the San Diego Chargers in the Super Bowl to win. Steve Young got the monkey off his back. I think this is the team that's most equipped since that 90s Cowboys team to three-peat. I do think they need a little scandal. They need a little scandal. I'm in my conspiracy bag again, as we saw earlier in the local hour. They need a scandal. I'm tired of hearing about Taylor Swift. I want to hear about Travis Kelce maybe cheating on Taylor Swift like one of the cheerleaders or something. Like, we need that kind of 30 for 30 drama.
Okay,
30 for 30 drama.
The nigga daddy is a drunk. You don't need a scandal.
I was just about to say, his pops. Hey, I got you, bro.
Yeah, he really doesn't need another thing to motivate him. We don't need.
He got a Scotch IV. Like, what are we talking about here?
Pat Mahomes Senior is the first nigga to say, "Wait, don't hold my beer. I'm gonna still do this. I got my beer. You ain't got
wrong, man.
I got it.
Y'all terrible."
Yeah, man, you right. He is. And speaking of somebody who needs to take an Uber, Pat. See, I know that this nigga. I think it was my guy Van. Shout out my man Van tweeted that he knows that Patrick Mahomes just be in the drive-through at the games when you can hear Brittany, who is liking MAGA posts. By the way, and it's shocker that a white woman from Texas who's rich is a Donald Trump supporter. Big shock there. Whoa, that came out of nowhere. Jackson Mahomes always getting in trouble. He want to be. Doesn't even want to be related to him. And of course, his daddy always getting judged. Maybe that's something, but I need a little bit more drama. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was it in 93 when the Bulls going for a three-peat? Jordan going to Atlantic City. I need something more than just you have an alcoholic dad. You know what I'm saying? I need a little bit more for that. I feel like on paper they have a chance. I think the AFC is really, really stacked, but that's the main thing I'm looking to. Courtney, what's your main storyline or anything you think about this 2024 Kansas City Chiefs?
I'm mostly just curious to see how this Rashee Rice situation is going to be handled. If it is, we all know the NFL doesn't really do much about anything, really. I guess unless it involves a masseuse or putting a gun to your girlfriend's head. But, even then, it's, So, with the iteration of the team that they have now, I honestly, who's going to beat them? I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, if you don't win this year, that's crazy. Because, if you look at in compared to last season, it's the same team basically that they're rolling out, minus L'Jarius Sneed, which I think that's the only thing in my opinion that might be a big loss that impacts them. But other than that, they're gonna easily win the division. Easily.
Yeah, that is a very soft ass division, as we're gonna see game by game here. Mariano, what you think about this year's iteration of the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, I think unless they catch Pat gambling on games and shit, man, they're probably going to three-peat. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, because last year you got to think about it. Everybody across the board was like, "What's up with the Chiefs? Like, this is kind of a down year." To have somebody say this is a down year, and you go out there and go back to back, it's like, what are we doing, bro? This is past some shit you could even dream of. Like, this is it's Pat Mahomes. This the fucking Pat Mahomes Invitational. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the era that we in right now. Like, you know, unless some major shit happen, you know, it's anything small, anything that's just a little blip on the radar. Like I don't see anybody stopping them. And the thing about it is, like, I would like to see Lamar win it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's somebody who, outside of obviously my own team, which is another story.
We'll
That's
get to that later. I got it on the docket, but don't
absolutely.
you worry about it.
That's, you know, Lamar Jackson and, you know, that Ravens team. That's a team that, like, you know, I sit back. I don't put them on my parlays because, you know, we got history, and I don't trust them. But, you know, I wish I could. But it's Pat Mahomes, bro. Like they're gonna three-peat. Like, what are we doing?
Dante, man, what you think about Pat? Is there any chance they don't? Like, how high are you making the chances they don't three-peat?
I'm going 80% they don't three-peat just because that shit don't happen. So like it's easy for me to pick the field, even though I understand how great Pat is, and like that's the crazy part. I agree with everything that's been said so far. Like on paper, this team has everything it needs to get right back to the doorstep of this three-peat. But I just think with the way the NFL has been and the way the competitive balance has you know, really been beefed up, and you've seen a lot of teams, you know, come and take their swings. And like, yes, Pat has continued to prove why he is, you know, the best in the game right now and on his way to being arguably the greatest to do it. But I think this is one of those years where I could see them, you know, falling in, you know, the division round or maybe the AFC championship, but not, you know, not already getting there. Now, in terms of the division, I think that's a foregone conclusion. I think Chargers are still a question mark. The Broncos are a question mark. The Raiders, and obviously we're gonna get more in depth about that in a second. But I think in terms of the division, there's nothing to worry about. But as far as a three-peat, I think, you know, this is one of those moments where we need to just, again, not saying we haven't, but get people to take a step back and just realize how, you know, monumental that would be to sit here and three-peat. But also on the other side, what's up?
If so, you know, you're saying that because there's so much parity that it's very likely that it's not going to happen. Who in the AFC do you think will give them the challenge, like you said, in the divisional round? Who do you think will topple that?
Whoa. Wow, that's
a good question.
Put you on the spot. I have to know
because you know it's on the brackets and breakdowns, so yeah. It would depend. But like,
we'll circle back. We'll circle back.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
Next week we're doing the season breakdown. I
got my answer. I got a team in mind as well.
Cool,
when she said around,
next
I
week.
was like, okay.
You don't have to explain. Just tell me.
That's next week. Next week
for the preview episode.
All right.
We're just giving them a taste of the dope this week. Bang, what you think about?
Look, I already put my money behind this one, so
you got money on them three-peat.
No. I got my money on somebody else.
Oh, somebody else. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what you said, Dante. Not only does it not happen, it hasn't ever happened in the NFL. It hasn't happened in the NBA in 22 years. Kobe and Shaq Lakers was the last time. The Warriors had a really good chance if they didn't actually die that season. Like, I believe if even one of the two it stays healthy between KD and Clay, they probably beat the Raptors. But hasn't happened in 22 years. That hasn't happened in like 25 years in Major League Baseball. And I don't think it's ever happened in hockey. Courtney, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, it's happened. Three pieces happen in hockey.
Yeah. Oh, there has been? Okay. Yeah.
But the thing about that, though, Scott, and I understand all of that. You know what else hasn't happened? Pat Mahomes, bro. He's happening like right now. True. So like it's just something that, like, again, until it happens, I'm just not betting against them. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever they play, whenever they play them, whatever's going on, if this team is healthy. Now, obviously, you taking the injuries and dudes getting suspended for certain shit, and you might miss a game for this or that and the third, whatever. But if that team is at full strength, I'm just not betting against them. You know what I'm saying? Like I would go to bed happy if I bet my money on them, and if they lost, I'm going down with them. Fuck it, like it is what it is. But I just can't bet against them.
And that's why, like just as well as we could say, that for the Patrick Mahomes thing, we've never seen a team in the Super Bowl era three-peat.
Yeah.
So I think either way it go, you could bet either way, have a conversation about either one of it and not be wrong, because we haven't seen the three-peat in the Super Bowl era, and we haven't seen a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. I'm going with the field mainly because now when you've played so many games, and really when you look at it, in the last 3-4 years, the amount of games that the Kansas City Chiefs has played, sooner or later, sooner rather than later, you're going to see attrition. And that's why I am more likely to bet against them three-peating, because the attrition has to come. It just has to come. Let me just say this. If the attrition don't come this year, you don't need to raid Andy Reid's coaching staff. You need to go look at the strength and conditioning coaches and ask them, like, what the hell are y'all doing that y'all done played this many games in 5 years and y'all are consistently winning? That's not just coaching, and that's just not players. That's strength and conditioning. That's like y'all got some type of elixir in the office that y'all just drink, and then all of a sudden y'all come out like them little Asian dudes on Big Trouble in Little China. Like y'all just drink the joint, then y'all be like, all right, time to go whoop some ass. Like, that's what I don't understand about the Kansas City Chiefs. How are y'all beating the war of attrition? Father Time is undefeated, and this is part of Father Time. Y'all been hitting helmets for 5 straight years, playing at least 14 games a year. And you mean to tell me every year y'all got it? Not saying that they own performance-enhancing drugs. I'm just saying y'all got to have some type of magic joint that as soon as y'all drink it, let's go whoop somebody ass. And Big Trouble in Little China is one of my favorite movies of all time. So
I'll say this, and then we'll move on to the Raiders. Courtney, I'm gonna say what you said. You said if they don't beat them this year. No, they had their chance last year. If you couldn't, this is why I'm on the side of them repeating. If you couldn't beat them niggas last year, with as bad as that offense was, and they were letting niggas off the hook, like the why I say the Raiders,
their defense when they had a lead just took their foot right off the gas. Like if you couldn't do it last year.
Exactly. Like that, Kadarius Toney is the reason that the Lions even had home field advantage through them 2 playoff games. He's not on the roster anymore. Like, and you add different things to it, and the Ravens had no business losing that game. You had that good running game. You want, we can beat y'all niggas throwing. Don't pull that against the Texans. Don't pull that against him. So that's why I'm on the side of anybody can do it. Is this man right here? And then next week I'm gonna tell y'all why my favorite player, Mr. Tom Brady, he might be in trouble if they do repeat. We're gonna talk about that next week, man. The rest of these teams are terrible, so I know we're not gonna have too much topics on them, but we're gonna go on to the team that finished second in the division last year. That is the Las Vegas Raiders. If anybody watched the Netflix show Receiver, we all know that my boy Devontae Adams hated the niggas who was at quarterback last year, Jimmy G. They finished stronger towards the end of the season after hiring Antonio Pierce as interim, made him full-time during the regular season. During the offseason. They bring in this guy right here, white people's favorite backup quarterback, Mr. Gardner Minshew, who I actually got to say, tried to build the Indianapolis Colts to the playoffs, actually had a good year. They got him back. Aiden McConnell will be on the bench. I don't have too much to say about this. The only thing I'm going to say about this is this. Y'all better be happy that Devontae Adams has that contract and that he probably just bought a new house and nobody's going to actually trade from this particular point in time. That's the only reason I believe that nigga's still here. I think that they can be competitive. Wouldn't shock me if they won 7 or 8 games. Like, I don't think it's going to be, I think they're going to be in the same range that they were last year. But it's just simple as that. We're in the air raid era of the NFL. If you do not have a quarterback, you do not have a chance. And I think as a backup, Gardner Minshew is great. I love Gardner Minshew as backup. He can hold it down for a long period of time. But that's not gonna cut it, especially not the AFC and especially not in that division. I'm not expecting much from this team at all. I do believe that they're paying attention to 2 things. I think the Raiders are paying attention to 2 things. Paying attention to Dak Prescott in that situation, and they're paying attention to how Shedeur Sanders is looking for next year, because Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell ain't gonna cut it. Mariana, what you think about the Raiders and story with them this year?
First and foremost, shout out to Giants legend Antonio Pierce. I was so happy when he got the job. I think he deserved it. I think that team will play for him. They'll play hard. You know what I mean? Like the type of player that he was. If any of that can trickle down and influence any of the players in that team, I think that they can probably be a tough out. You know what I'm saying, for people. I'm not really expecting too much, like you said. I just want to see the type of like their attitude. You know what I'm saying? Like how they approaching these games. Like I'm sure they're not going to lay down for anybody. You know, and like you said, with that's a good point. Like with the Dak Prescott shit, you get Dak over there because I know like, and I'm a Giants fan, so I know people expect me to like shit on Dak. He's not a bad quarterback. I think that if you put him over there with, you know, in that system and you start to try to like build something over there, I think that they can do something, you know, good. I'm not saying they Super Bowl bound or nothing like that, but I think that they can be good. So I'm excited to watch it for my own reasons. Like I want to see Antonio Pierce do well. And they do have they got some, you know, some decent pieces, you know, around the team. So they'll be good, you know, and also I'm one of those people that believe when the Raiders are good, like the NFL is like a little better. You know what I'm saying? Like the years that the Raiders are good, it's just better to watch, you know, the NFL. So I won't say excited to watch them, but I'm hyped for Antonio Pierce for sure. And if the Raiders game is on, I'm probably going to be watching it.
Quick random topic. I forgot that tonight is actually Caitlin Clark, Andrew Reese, part 3. Shaq Diesel was in Chicago. He's courtside with one of the Caucasian big 3 that of the Bulls. Buzelis, as he pronounces it.
Oh, Madison!
Rookie of the year.
Yeah,
Shaq is
sitting next to.
Saying that right now.
Shaq is sitting next to Buzelis courtside at a sold out win.
What channel is on?
Give him the trophy.
I think it's on Marquee. I don't know. It might be on. It's not on ESPN because Oklahoma's on ESPN. So it might be on Marquee.
Buzelis the trophy right now.
Yeah, but Bang, what you think about the Raiders? That's all you. That's all you gotta say about them niggas.
What that team gonna be the pitch, man? Hey, Devontae Adams will be a Jet by the trading deadline. That's all I got.
You think they gonna trade him?
They ain't gonna have no choice, fam. He's gonna ask for a trade. He's gonna be mad. Antonio Pierce gonna be like, man, if that motherfucker don't want to be here, then we'll just go ahead and trade his ass then, fam. That's what's gonna happen, fam. Like
if you don't want to be over here, cuz, we gonna get you out of here, cuz.
Yeah, if you don't want to be it, I'll say this. I think that the worst team in this division will be the Raiders. And when Patrick Mahomes played them, they're dropping at least 50.
Yeah.
At least.
Dante, any thoughts on the Raiders?
Just Raider fans enjoy Luke Getsy, you know. He somehow got another job, and you know, everybody, your boy Cap was quick to say, well, what if he goes out there and he's great? And you know, all the reports out of Vegas has been the offense is terrible. So
take that.
So you know, I don't have much with the Raiders. I'm glad Pierce got the job. It's dope to see him get that opportunity. And you know, we see player coaches a lot. Well, former player coaches in the NBA a lot, and you know, that are younger. We don't see that often with the NFL. I know we had a couple of guys with McVay who you know, he has some experience, but he's not like a real player like Antonio Pierce was. He was an impact player who came in, and now he's getting the opportunity to be a head coach at a young age. So I like that, but Raiders don't have shit.
I see it, Dante, but also, why does it feel like our people are only getting job opportunities when, like, we're basically set up for fucking
right?
Leo in New England, fucking Antonio Pierce. Now I'm like, damn, can we get a winning team? Can we get my man something good?
Word.
Yeah, that's dead though.
I'm just saying.
Is that all you had on Raiders, or you had more?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. Again, I've been trying to look it up. That's what I raised my hand for earlier, because I said, wait, okay, Gardner Minshew's their starter. Aiden McConnell was the second string. Who's their third string quarterback?
I have no idea.
You?
I was just about to say, shit. We could just play rock, paper, scissors. We might get
the 5'1". I can't steal.
Hey, man, look, if I was them, I would have
traded Kyler Murray. He in the league.
Look, if I was them, I would have asked
like 6 inches on me.
Look, I would have asked the Bears about BJ. He know the offense.
Yeah, no, the Raiders they're going to finish last in the division. It's between them and the Chargers, in my opinion. I know we're not getting into predictions, but the Raiders are going to be a truly. I'm sorry, I can't agree with you. That's not an enjoyable experience for me to watch.
So cool. Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so